Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice, and as you can tell, I do not sound like Rudolph anymore. You know, when they put that shit on his nose. And I know it took me so long to get this episode 8 review up, but y'all know how I do when I do what I do. I think I want to start talking about His Dark Materials. Have y'all watched that? Because I watched it and I'm loving it, and I already read The Golden Compass, so I'm super stoked for His Dark Materials. But anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for predictions for the finale and my breakdown on American Horror Story 1984, Episode 8, Rest in Pieces. I'm telling y'all, like, they came through with some juice. They came through with some juice, and the preview for the next episode had some juice in it. Like, it's juicy out here. Like, what is this written on this tree? Can you make it out? Let's get into the video. So it's 1989 and it's one day before Halloween, and Brooke and Donna are in a diner. They're on their way to the Camp Redwood Festival and they're talking about the future, which in these scary movies, when people are talking about the future, that actually kind of means that they don't have a future. And Donna's actually at this time talking about scary movie tropes. Donna tells Brooke about a popular 1980s horror movie trope, the final girl, which is basically the final girl survivor that lives to tell the story. So Donna says that it can be Brooke or it can be Margaret. And Brooke's like, well, why can't it be you, Donna? And Donna's like, no, girl. No. They kill us first. They kill people with my complexion first in the movies. And like, seriously, that's true Bill. Even in American Horror Story 1984, Ray was the first out of all of his friends to die. We do know that American Horror Story is kind of tropey, and I wonder if the final twist is that they're gonna break tropes. Because if you look at the camp incident in 1970 that happened, Margaret was the final girl. Margaret was the girl that lived to tell the story. And then if you look again at the 1984 Camp Redwood slayings, Margaret was the final girl again. So there could be a final girl, but I think the big twist might be that there is no final girl. And if there is a final girl, that it's Margaret again, or there's a final guy. I really want the final girl to be Courtney, and that's it, and that's all. But maybe there isn't a final girl. Maybe everyone dies. So Brooke wants to kill Margaret so she can't hurt anyone anymore. So Brooke and Donna are planning on how they're going to get into the camp. They're plotting on sneaking in after dark. At least that's their plan. So Stacy Phillips, a writer from the National Enquirer, comes over, and clearly she knows who Brooke is. And Stacy is like the actual 1984 crazy version of fake Nurse Rita, really crazy Donna. So that's Stacy, and Stacy is also rude as hell. At Camp Redwood, Jonas is walking down the road, and the crazy hitchhiker picks Jonas up in a pink car. Jonas is one of the most strange and out of place characters to me. Like, I really haven't seen like how his story pays off in any kind of way, and it's like he's always moping around lost and confused. And it's like, how was he even that far out of Camp Redwood? Is it because he died on the road and not at the camp? I'm not sure. Anyway, the night before he meets Jonas, the hitchhiker was being rescued by a Mary Kay sales lady, and he stole her car and threw her in the trunk. The hitchhiker ends up killing the Mary Kay lady, and Jonas just disappears. So Courtney and Margaret find dead Kajagoogoo in the bus. So then Margaret orders Courtney to cut them up, clean up the mess, do all this shit. And I'd have been like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I wouldn't have did it. Like, as soon as she left, I would have left too. I'd have quit unemployment, point blank, period. I would not be cutting up no bodies for Margaret. So while Courtney is cleaning up this Kajagoogoo gaga mess, Kajagoogoo, who the fuck are these people? Kajagoogoo is rehearsing. They are back from the dead, and they like have never felt better or tighter, they say. But this is a clue that Jingles' mom was really up to something when she told him to kill himself, because The Night Stalker killed them and they still came back. So it wasn't like they were going to make, if the Night Stalker killed Jingles, he wasn't going to come back and all of that shit. So his mom be lying. So Billy Idol's crew is setting up and the Night Stalker comes through to get some souvenirs, some fanboy shit. He gets a guitar pick. So he's walking through the forest with his guitar pick, acting like he's playing the guitar, singing Rebel Yell, which is the song that was playing when he met Montana. And Benji rolls up. So they get to fighting, and the hitchhiker runs over Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles gets away or dies or something, and the hitchhiker is a Night Stalker fan. Like, he knows who the Night Stalker is. He's a serial killer himself. Like, he wants to be like this big serial killer, bigger than the Night Stalker, bigger than Mr. Jingles, because he knows who Mr. Jingles is too. So anyway, they become friends, and little baby Satan cuts himself so his paw can show him the way to Mr. Jingles. And then it cuts to a knock on Brooke and Donna's hotel, and the jig is up. Stacy knows who Brooke and Donna both are. They should just dead her right there. But Brooke decides that they are the best story that Stacy has ever had, and they convince Stacy to sneak them into Camp Redwood. Mr. Jingles wakes up and he's like with Jonas. Jonas is there. Jingles is tripping. Jonas is like, it gets better. Jingles says that he felt everything. Jonas says that when they die, they lose pieces of their self every time they die and come back. But Jingles is hell-bent on killing the Night Stalker so that he can't hurt his son. Meanwhile, Trevor and Montana are hooking up and they're talking after hooking up, and Trevor is just smitten with Montana. Montana and Trevor together, like, I love it. Also, the way that Montana describes being dead is exactly how Madison Montgomery describes it in Coven. Just continuity. Anyway, Trevor loves Montana and he wants to stay with her because she's 80s forever. So Margaret scopes Montana and Trevor together, and Margaret is plotting some shit. Anyway, the Night Stalker and the hitchhiker are looking for Jingles. Xavier pops up and tells them that he's one of Jingles' victims, even though he's not. He's actually Margaret's victim. Anyway, Xavier says that when a body is uncovered, a ghost comes to it, like a moth to a flame, basically, and they don't know why they do it. And Jingles does come to his body, and Jingles kills Xavier, and he tells the hitchhiker, he said, if you say, you die. And the hitchhiker doesn't need no convincing to leave. He's like, all right, I'm out. And like, that would be me. Like, that's so me. Okay, see you. And just like we suspected, Jingles' mama did some trickery to get him to kill himself. Killing himself was stupid. That was the stupidest move if he wanted to protect his son. The Night Stalker can just leave, but Jingles can't. Jingles is stuck there. And Jingles' mom had to know this was going to happen. Maybe it was something about Jingles killing himself where Bobby died that caused Bobby to come back, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So Margaret shoots Jingles in the head, and the hitchhiker comes back, and Margaret is recruiting killers. Margaret says she needs all the killers she can get. Meanwhile, Stacy is not buying Brooke and Donna's story, so Brooke has a plan to kill Stacy. Donna, Brooke, and Stacy are being watched by the hitchhiker, the Night Stalker, and Psycho Margaret. So Jingles is up on the tree and he's being yelled at by like everyone. But the part in this that really sent me was when Xavier called Richard Ramirez Satan's ball washer. Basically, Jingles wants them to let him go so he can deal with the Night Stalker, but all they want to do is torture him and kill him and make his undead life miserable. He's like, please, my son is gonna die. But they really don't care. They really don't care about his son. Montana gets exposed. Jingles is blaming Montana for like the Night Stalker and how he changed after he left Camp Redwood. I think like, okay, yeah, it's really not Montana's fault in my opinion. He got crazy after he left because he was brought back to life by Satan, not because of Montana. Jesus, Jingles. Anyway, Brooke is about to kill Stacy, but Donna intervenes. Donna tells Brooke that evil only grows if you feed it what it wants. Donna talks Brooke out of killing Stacy, and just talks her into sticking to the plan, doing some good, killing Margaret and making sure no one else gets hurt so they can wash away all their sins. Yeah, okay. Do you guys see like how history is repeating itself? Like there's like this pattern. So in 1970, there's the final girl, Margaret, a framed killer for this Jingles. Donna lets him out and havoc is wreaked in Camp Redwood in 1984. Now it's 1989 and Brooke has supposedly killed all of these people and Donna saves her from being executed and now they're back at camp and havoc is about to break out again. Like it's like this pattern that just keeps happening. So Stacy is running, but she is caught by the Night Stalker, Margaret Bruce, and the hitchhiker, and Ramirez kills her. So Margaret has an idea to kill all of the talent that has come to Camp Redwood, but they're not going to let her kill Billy Idol. Anyway, she wants to make it like the place where 80s music died but lives forever so she can just make a fortune off of it because she's weird and she's sick and she's a psycho. So Trevor wants to die and live with Montana forever at Camp Redwood. Trevor is like so in love with Montana. It's so cute. I think Montana is in love with Trevor too. I think she really likes him, but she's giving him that hardness, that I love you, you don't deserve this life, you deserve better than me, but she's giving it to him in a hurtful way so he won't want to stay there and he will go on and live his life. Now, this is where the episode gets nuts. Xavier and the two Jingles impersonators, they are killing Jingles and they're like torturing him. They throw him in a boat to bleed to death. The boat goes to the middle of the lake and Montana is looking on. Jingles sits up, he's looking at Montana, and Bobby comes out of the lake like Jason Voorhees. It was total homage to Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Camp Crystal Lake. And when Jingles wakes up, he's in like some alternate universe with his mother and Bobby. Jingles' mother says that Jingles brought Bobby back. And Bobby says, stay with us, Benji, and nothing can hurt you anymore, I promise. So, let's talk about this. I feel like there's maybe a few things going on. So it could be an alternate universe. Do you remember how last week we talked about how Margaret kept referring to the lake as a bottomless lake? What if the lake isn't bottomless? What if the lake actually leads to an alternate universe? Because the way that Jingles' mom is talking is like they're not in Camp Redwood anymore. Because she says like nothing can escape that camp. Like they're not there. So likely they're in an alternate universe. Or maybe he's dreaming. Maybe he's just knocked out and he's dreaming. But she says that Jingles brought Bobby back. So I think his sacrifice on the docks where Bobby died, his blood going into the water, all of that stuff brought Bobby back. But I noticed that these markings are on the tree and I'm trying to make out what they say, but I can't quite make it out. It looks like A plus B. What is this? I'm just gonna like show the enhanced version of it and hopefully you guys can make it out in the comments below. But next week it looks like Montana and Trevor are terrorizing someone. Now, I have two theories about this. It could be like a VIP guest to the festival and Montana and Trevor are just fucking with them and it drives him insane and he ends up in Redwood Meadows Asylum. Maybe he's gonna be framed as like the new killer of Camp Redwood. I don't know. Someone's always getting framed there. Jingles, Brooke, then likely this guy. I don't know. But maybe this guy is an adult Bobby. Maybe they're going to do another time jump and this guy is an adult Bobby. Like he's came there to find his dad or some shit or to see like where his dad could have went. I don't know. Either way, this guy ends up in Red Meadows Asylum. So the Night Stalker looks to be dead, or maybe he just was knocked out and he was woken up, but looks to me like he just woke up from being dead. It looks like Margaret, has Donna chained up like bait for Brooke, and Chet and Ray come in to save her. Then boom, Brooke appears in the door, and it looks like Brooke and Margaret are gonna have like a Players Club Ronnie versus Diamond style fight at Camp Redwood, and I'm here for it. Like, Margaret has a gun, Xavier has a chainsaw. It's the finale. Shit is going down. I can't wait to see what the big twist is going to be, because I feel like there's still so many loose ends and open plot holes that need to be filled. But what did you think of the episode, and what do you think is going to be coming next? As always, thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the sweet summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.